Workers arrested in yesterday's pot shop raids are appearing at Old City Hall Court this morning. Jackie Crandall joins us now live with the latest. Jackie, this is a law and order and a social justice issue, and they intersect.
Yeah, and we're going to hear one side of that story in just a moment, George. Just to recap what happened yesterday, late afternoon, early evening, 3 pot dispensaries were raided in the city of Toronto, including Cannabis Culture on Queen Street East. As a result of those raids, a handful of people were arrested and charged, and at least 2 of those individuals arrested and charged from Cannabis Culture are appearing today. They were also caught up in raids that happened back in May, when this really, became a big story here in Toronto. Jodie Emery, you are the owner of Cannabis Culture. You are a pot activist along with your husband, who served time in the U.S. for selling seeds across the border. Can you tell me what's happening today?
Today I'm here at the Old City Hall Courthouse for our friends who are very well-known activists, because they've been arrested and detained, and we hope that they get bail. But I flew out here this morning, I just arrived a couple hours ago, to reopen our shop, because we need to demonstrate to the local government and the federal government that we're harmless, peaceful people, and we have been leading this activism charge for legalization for decades. So there's no reason for the police to waste time and resources going after peaceful, harmless people, especially when the vast majority of the public support dispensaries and cannabis shops.
We heard from a spokesperson for the Toronto Police yesterday, and he said this isn't a matter of going after, peaceful people necessarily. This is, following the law and carrying out the law, and it is still illegal to sell marijuana unless you are doing so under the guidance of Health Canada and are one of those individuals or entities that are able to do so legally, and that there is no gray area, that it is still illegal, and until the laws change, they have an obligation to enforce the law.
Well, in fact, a federal court found that the Health Canada program for medical marijuana is unconstitutional, and at this time, the government is being told to come up with a new program. It's greatly ironic, though, that these licensed producers and the medical marijuana program that exist came about because of lawbreakers, peaceful civil disobedience, dispensaries and patients and growers getting arrested, going to court, and having the courts order the government to change the law. So only through law breaking have we actually changed the laws in this country. And it's also, again, a waste of resources when police have far bigger crime issues to think about in this city. But if we're talking about the law is the law, the police now need to go to every bookstore in this city and arrest those booksellers for providing magazines and literature about marijuana, because in this country, in Canada, under section 462.2 of the Criminal Code, books and magazines about marijuana are still illegal. So if this government is all about the law is the law and we're going after everybody who breaks it, they need to do it either in full force and fairly across the board, or they need to stop any enforcement whatsoever. And thankfully, we've had decades of police in this country being smart and progressive about not arresting anyone unless harm is being done. But with these dispensaries in Toronto and with these raids, there's no demonstrable harm. The only victims here are the victims of the police arrests and raids, which will give criminal records to peaceful citizens who do no harm to anyone else.
Jodie Emery, thanks so much for chatting with us this morning. I appreciate it. And I know that Jodie is, after this court appearance here at Old City Hall this morning, heading back over to the Cannabis Culture location that was targeted yesterday in the raids. She plans to reopen.